All right, welcome back. I'm doing some maintenance on the boat. Kind of starting this project and it was a pain in the butt because I had to piece together all the parts and there was like no information out there. So I'm gonna make a little video on what I did. We're basically adding second station controls to the tower. I'll climb up here and let's just see what we got going on. We just had this tower built. It's kind of a mess right now, but I just had this tower built by Fishing Boats Unlimited, and I opted to kind of piece the controls together myself. So that way save a little bit of money because the tower costs an arm and a leg. But so I'll show you what we got kind of going on here. Little parts list. So obviously we went with the 13.5-inch steering wheel, a little bit smaller. We have our hydraulic steering pump. I got the second station controls. I actually got these used off a buddy's boat who upgraded to the Helmmaster, which I'd like to do eventually, but it's a lot easier just to go with the 6x6 controls for what I got going on. We got a 6YG gateway, which I'm going to make a separate video on this, but basically what this is going to do is allow me to take engine data from my Yamaha gauges and run them on my Raymarine, so I don't have to get another unit up top. I can just use my Axiom. Then we got all kinds of stuff. We have the panel switch assembly, so kill switch, station selectors. I went with another Raymarine Axiom 9-inch. The boat has all Raymarine right now, which I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of, but that's what the boat came with, so you know, I didn't want to rip everything out and switch over. Got a Seaview radar mount because we had to move the radar to accommodate the rigging tube that we haven't got yet, but we should be getting soon. And then I opted to go with a command mic up top, so I'm just going to run one single VHF and run the command mic. So today what I plan on doing is drilling all the holes, getting everything set up on the dash, and then we'll have to wait till the rigging tube shows up, and then we'll run the rigging, and I'll just keep videoing so you guys can see what I got going on. All right, stay tuned. All right, I'm going to show you kind of what I have planned here with the tower. As you can see, we went with the high back tower with this center, what's called center console if you want the seats. This just helps when you sit down. If you're glassing, you can kind of lock yourself in. You're not bouncing around. So we really like that, but it kind of gave us some weird spacing issues because where you have to sit, if we put the steering wheel, let me take this out real quick. You put the steering wheel in the center and you're sitting down, it's going to be kind of funky to steer. But you put it over here, it presents issues with where we're going to put the throttle. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it dead center. That's how most kind of tower boats are set up. I'll run my Axiom here, then I'll run the throttle on this side, and then I'll run trim tabs, switch assembly kit, command mic, compass up here, and just kind of see how that goes. So we're going to kind of play with it today, kind of like template everything out and see what we got going on, but I think this is probably going to be the best option for us, so we'll see. All right, little update. We got the holes for the rear mount hydraulic pump for the steering in. We ran into a little issue. The dash is not quite thick enough, so I got to get some starboard mount on the other side. So next I'm going to mount the screen, and then I'm going to kind of work off that. So I'm going to stick to the original plan: steering wheel, screen, throttle, switch assembly, and then I'm going to leave this area blank if I ever want to add, you know, like toggle switches. My fill port will go up here, and like I said, compass here. So a little update. I'm going to keep drilling some holes. All right, another little update. We got the throttle assembly in, steering wheel, and it's there. Got the Raymarine screen all mounted. I got plenty of room for my switches, autopilot controller, trim tabs. Looking good. We're gonna call it for the day. Come back in a couple days, finish it up. All right, it's been a couple days. I didn't want to film, or I was just not in the mood to film because it was just a lot of cutting and whatever, but now we're getting to the meat and potatoes of this thing. I got all the lines routed, so I still got to connect them behind the main pump, but 2 hydraulic lines, the return line, the Yamaha second station harnesses, the second station trim tab, the power for my little bus bar I'm putting up there, my CTOC NG network so I can hook up my screen, And what is this one again? I don't even know what this one is. Oh, the command mic. Yeah, and the command mic. So I got all that routed. There's not enough room to do this. It's crazy. So they all had to go up through there. I had to fish them out through here, run them all the way across to here. I don't know if you can see, but I ran them all the way up there. I'm sure something is freaking kinked, but I did my best to not let them get kinked. Then I'll show you what we got going up here. So then on the tower, now I can't remember what I filmed last time, but I have the Raymarine put in, everything hooked up. I just got to put the power. I have my lanyard assembly, station select, trim tabs, throttle, and then I have my hydraulic steering pump hooked up. Everything's pretty tight in there. And the only problem, and then I put my command mic switch here, so I could hook my command mic there, set it here. But as you can see, there's tons of wires. It's amazing how much wires this project is taking. So I'm having an issue with the throttles reading each other. So I'm going to take it, I think I'm going to tow the boat down to West Coast and have them see if they can't flash it. I'm pretty sure they need to reset the control box on these throttles to get them to kind of match up. But that's it. That's where we're at. And then I ended up doing this just because I was having a really hard time finding a pipe that I needed. I was getting impatient. I didn't want to wait. So it looks pretty clean. I haven't tightened it, so that's why it's kind of all jacked up. But I mean, it looks pretty clean. This cost me 50 bucks as opposed to a few hundred for the pipe. So save a little money there, and I don't think it's gonna really matter. And then you can see I added the CV radar mount to get the radar out of the way. It used to be right here. So these 4 holes I'm gonna have to patch. Eventually I'm gonna put C-deck up here, but I had to put the radar out there so I could fit this rigging tube. And yeah, that's where we're at. It's pretty, there's nothing really I needed to show. There's a couple parts I'm gonna do here in a bit that I'm gonna film, and that's it. Stay tuned. I don't even know if I'm gonna make this whole video or not, or if I might just do an overview. So anyway, stay tuned. Also, cool little thing I added, I was at West Marine, so I bought an extra one. These are the spreader lights that they put on the tower. I added these 2 here, so I'll have port and starboard on both sides. Looks pretty clean. So I still got to tighten those up and wire them and stuff, but I don't know, just kind of a fun little thing. Looks pretty clean. Hopefully it'll look good. All right, back to wiring. The worst part about this whole project is honestly just having the boat just jacked. It drives me absolutely nuts having the boat so messy. Even though I know it's during the install, but this literally just drives me crazy having it look like this. So hopefully I can finish it up, clean it up, and be back to normal. Stay tuned. All right, the tower project is done. Finally, this has been a pain in the butt. So to try to save a little money, I decided to put the tower controls on myself, as you can see in this video that you've been watching. And yeah, it was a pain in the butt. There's a lot of wires, a lot of parts that didn't work, rerouted a bunch of stuff, but we finally got it complete. So give you a little tour, show you what we got going on. So first thing I did was I had to upgrade the trim tabs, because I needed to add a flybridge kit, and so I had to add the new one. So it's kind of nice, got the LED trim tab set up. Then added the station select switch here. There was already a hole here, so I just reused that. All the wiring's down there. It's kind of a mess right now. Then I networked everything. Obviously these were already networked, but then on the back deck, just another little thing I added. It's updating right now, that's why it's blank, but I added this screen to the back deck, so we have that. And then coming up to the tower, one little thing I did, just because I thought it'd be kind of cool, is I put port and starboard spreader lights, so I have the rear port and starboard now. Coming forward, I had to move the radar, so I got the C-View radar mount, moved the radar forward a little bit, ran the wiring through the roof through the existing hole. Then we had to punch a hole in the roof there to run the rigging tube. I opted to go with the plastic over the metal just to be a little more flexible, which actually turned out good, and it doesn't look, I was a little nervous it was going to look bad, but pretty happy with how it turned out. So stepping on up into the tower. we added obviously the full controls. Got this working, had to take it to West Coast Marine, have them flash it, but it's all working now. The one problem I had was I didn't have a start-stop switch. Yamaha can't get them, and it was a pain in the butt, so all we have is a station selector and the lanyard. Turned out not being an issue. I thought it was going to be an issue, but it's not, so that worked. Flybridge kit for the trim tabs. I opted to go with the command mic, so I'm just using my downstairs VHF, same antenna, would have the command mic, but this is cool because it has intercom functions, so I can talk to the people, whoever's driving, I can talk to them from up here and vice versa. So that's pretty cool. Went with a 13-inch Schmidt steering wheel, and then also the Raymarine. And I ended up in another video, it's still updating, but I opted to go with a 6YG gateway, so that way I could put all my Yamaha data on the Raymarine, so I don't have to get another gauge up here. Just kept it a little cleaner. So if you want to see how that was done, there's another video I did on that. Pretty simple. But yeah, that's it. Tower's done, ready to go. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's kind of I was all over the place, but it just was a pain in the butt to film. So anyway, that's a quick overview of the tower. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. Can't wait to start the season, start using this thing. So thanks for watching.